Hello and welcome. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you all see me? Can you all hear me? Good morning and welcome. This is our Crypto Cybersecurity webinar. My name is Anna. I'll be your host for today's session. I represent the team over at Tangem, while my host today is going to be representing his own topic and his amazing, amazing presentation. Trust me, we've seen it, we've worked on it. We can see how amazing it is. You're going to be enjoying it very, very much. All right, so what is this session going to be about? In a world where digital assets are becoming the norm, understanding how to protect your data and secure your crypto is more important than ever before. So today we'll break down all the principles behind the principles of cybersecurity, explore vulnerabilities in hardware wallets, and walk through some of the risks that are associated with crypto wallets and generally how to be safe in the crypto space. So of course, we are going to be working on the same format as we normally are, but if you're joining us for the first time, this is how it's going to work. We're going to do a little intro section, then we're going to run through the presentation, and then finally, we're going to get to all of your questions, which is the most important part. So if you have any questions, you leave them down below in the comments, and I'll be pulling them up onto the screen at a later stage in the presentation. All right, let's get comfortable, grab a coffee, maybe grab something to eat while you're watching, and let's dive into the world of crypto cybersecurity, and let's find out how to secure your digital future. Okay, let's get going, and I'll bring in my guest.
Thank you, Anna, for this very nice presentation. Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here with you, with all of you, and also very happy to be invited by Tangem for this cybersecurity webinar on crypto wallets. My name is Jacky Intro. I am an IT and software architect specialized in data security. I work in many strategic industry like energy, telecommunication, supply chain, and for a few years now, lastly, in defense industry. I will share with you my knowledge in cybersecurity regarding blockchain ecosystem and crypto wallets. I have been involved in crypto for several years now through the angle of cybersecurity, coming from my work in cyber defense. And I have provided for 1 year cybersecurity audits for final users like you and me to help to secure your crypto and to protect your data.
Amazing. What a good intro. My intro is actually going to be a little bit less, but my intro is basically just I represent the team here at Tangem. We are a hardware crypto wallet, but less about us and more about the topic of what we will be discussing today. So I'm going to be popping out of the screen for the next part just because I don't want you guys to kind of watch me going, very interesting, and be very shocked by all the information because it is very intense. So I'll be jumping back in at a later stage. You guys enjoy. Jacky is one of those people that you can always listen to for hours and hours, especially when he's in the flow and talking about the things that he loves and cares about. So I'll be popping back out. Leave your comments in terms of the questions that you may have for Jacky, and then I'll be pulling them up onto the screen. Jacky, are we ready to go?
Thank you, Anna. I'm totally happy, totally ready.
Okay, right. In which case, little bit of a B-roll, and then I'll see you guys later.
So again, very happy to welcome all of you for this Crypto Cybersecurity webinar to protect your crypto, your wallet, your identity, your privacy. So I presented myself. You can see that I studied in Paris in a very strong EPITA in a school for engineer, information system and software engineer. I also studied in Israel in Technion, that is the Israeli Institute of Technology, and also in Paris Urban. So I presented you my career, supply chain, energy, telecommunication, and defense industry, and the audit side of my job that I provide today. So let's enter the subject. Cyber attacks in a crypto ecosystem in numbers. So first of all, which methods of cyber attacks we are talking about? I will introduce all of them slowly in the rest of this presentation, but we are talking about ransomware, phishing, supply chain attack, and crypto investment scam that are mainly the type of attacks that you and me can receive. It's just final user attacks. And for more detailed and sophisticated attacks, we will talk about session cookies on token and cross-bridge attacks. Who is behind those the biggest cyber attacks? So we are now entering the real deepness of cybersecurity. So we are talking about groups that are mainly from Russia, from North Korea, from Iran. And if I can say something very fast here, when we enter the world of cybersecurity, we directly go into a subject about geopolitical subjects. So we directly enter the real news of day-to-day life, because what happens on Earth is directly connected to the cybersecurity world. So which platform are mainly attacked? So we can see that from 2016 to 2020, the main platform was a centralized platform. Like the main attacks were targeting centralized services. But starting from 2021, it touched mainly the DeFi ecosystem. So I present you those numbers just now about ransomware attack. This graph shows how many in $million, how many money has been transited, has been sent, has been stolen by ransomware. That is mainly one of the most attacks that we are facing in cryptocurrency. So in 2023, we reached $1.1 billion. What about AI and the biggest? Let's talk about AI and the biggest crypto cyber attacks. So first of all, since the beginning of 2016, we can see that the number of attacks started almost with the rise of crypto, and to arrive to 2023 in a number around 230 number of attacks. And let's now talk about the rise of AI into cyber attacks. So to talk about AI into cyber attacks, mainly until 2018, the AI was mainly used for defense industry to detect anomalies and into IS security. And for the next 2 years, 2019 and 2020, those attacks started to be more the AI started to be more used by attackers, by groups, and to be like open source, like I could say, on the cyber attacks side. And they have been used for deepfake, for phishing, video and audio scams that I am sure that you already saw. After that, what happened is in 2021, in 2022, those attacks started to really have a big impact into crypto ecosystem, because those attacks became more automated, more sophisticated, and nearly perfect phishing emails AI were generated. So what happened is that the crypto ecosystem, and mainly on DeFi platform, were not actually ready to face this big wave of AI automated sophisticated attacks. So during the 2021, 2022, we had this big wave of attacks. And what happened is 2023, we have this slowdown of attacks because the DeFi platform, the DeFi ecosystem started to prevent and to have some security available against those attacks. But from 2023, the AI didn't stop, the AI attacks didn't stop, and we started to see an emergence of RAS, like ransomware as a service, to show you that those attacks started to be highly managed and sold to other groups, to other hackers. So they started to make a real industry from those. And finally, we can see that in 2024, those attacks started to rise again to 300 attacks and to arrive to a number of $4 billion of stolen money. So now let's talk about the most famous hacks. So we can see that some names that you could already recognize. TIMECODES, one of the biggest, one of the first hacks of crypto, you can recognize CoinCheck, FTX, that is one of the most also known, like view in the news. And what is important to see here is who did it and how it happens. So, for example, FTX, it comes from internal corruption. That means that it was more inside the centralized exchange, and it comes from humans. And in the other side, we have we have the running network with $615 million that come from Lazarus Group, and you will hear it very soon again. And just for the story, Poly Networks, that is one of the biggest hacks, happens from a white hat, Mr. White Hat, that was his name. It comes from a guy that wanted to reveal to Poly Networks that he found a weakness, and they did not listen to him. So he said, okay, I will try, I will show you, and he stole $611 million, but the thing is that it was just to show them that it was possible. So he released the money, he gave back the money, that it's a good end, but trust me, it's not. It doesn't happen for the rest of the hacks. So now let's enter the real news about hacks and the biggest cyber attacks of all history of blockchain. We are talking about the Bybit attacks that happened 21 February 20, just a few days ago. So what really happened here? First of all, it's come from North Korea, from Lazarus Group, and it happened in two times. So first of all, what happened in two steps, sorry. The people in Bybit have their tokens, their money inside cold wallets. So they do what I will propose you, that I will suggest you to do also, to keep your money in cold hardware wallet. So that's what they did. But in Bybit, they use hardware wallet with we are talking about multi-signature wallets to protect, not to be able to sign a transaction without several people to validate it. So the first hack from Lazarus was to hack the multi-sig program that behind the process, and they just infected it. So we are just now talking about this multi-sig confirmation, the smart contract that is behind the multi-sig that was compromised, and then when the human used the people, the owner of this wallet, of those Ethereum wallet, they signed the transaction all by themselves with their own cold wallet. They finally made a blind signing, because they couldn't see on their wallet the transaction that was really behind. So instead of sending their money from their cold wallet to the hot wallet, they finally send the money from the cold wallet to another wallet, like to the Lazarus Group wallet. And they authorized it because they couldn't see it, and they couldn't see it because the multi-signature smart contract was infected in advance. And finally, we are talking here about the trusted displays that I will talk about very soon also in the presentation. That it's not that is also put in question here. It's not that because the screen, your wallet has a screen on it, that is surely secure. That is secured. We will talk about that very soon. So finally, they sign a bad transaction. So we are talking about human compromission, trusted display compromission, and smart contract multi-signature interface compromission. So now let's talk about the 5 fundamentals principle of cybersecurity. So I show here ANSSI, that is a French cybersecurity agency, Agence Nationale de la Sécurité des Systèmes d'Information. So it's an agency that I used to have contact with on my work, because they are auditing all the jobs, all the application of the process that we do on defense side, because they are here to protect and to be sure that every process, every application that we deploy on defense side, or it can be also on many industries that impact the country, to be sure that the level of security remain safe, remain a high level. So they provide the 5 fundamentals principle of cybersecurity. First of all, Data confidentiality. So in 5 points, the data confidentiality is like to ensure that only strict authorized person can access the information, the data. The data integrity, to be sure that the data is not corrupted. The data availability, to ensure that you can access whenever you need the data. The traceability of the data, to be sure that you can audit and analyze. The ability to audit and analyze the data, and the data authentication is to be sure that the person who the person have the right access to the right level of access to authorization to access the data. So about now, when we put that for crypto wallets, it remains the same strategy. On data confidentiality, we are talking about the system with private key and seed phrase. For integrity, we are talking about digital asset, transaction, and keys remain unchanged, that you want to be sure that the transaction that you do will remain unchanged. And for data availability, you want to ensure that you have a reliable backup for your wallet. So for example, Tangem has 3 cards that if you lose one, you can still have 2 other ones. And even if you lose one another, you can still transfer your coins from your wallet to a new wallet. So this is the data availability. Data traceability, it's same if the ability to audit and analyze your transaction, crypto assets. So we can even here see, we can talk about block explorer functionalities. To ensure for data authentication is here the ability to have a strong authentication, and we are talking about double authentication and more other strongest authentication. So now crypto wallets type, and I will talk about the associated threat level about different type of crypto wallets. What is a crypto wallet? A crypto wallet is an asymmetric cryptographic generator system. It just means that a crypto wallet is here to generate a private key and a public key. That's all. And that's all that should do a crypto wallet. So now we will start to talk about the different names and different categories of wallets. So you have the software wallets that are just programs, and hardware wallets, the wallets that you can hold in your hands because they are physical wallets. Since here we can start to see those keywords that you already heard, hot wallet, cold wallet. So finally, the hot wallets are more on software side, software wallet, and the hardware wallet are more on cold, are really like the hardware wallet are cold wallets. So now let's see who are those hot wallets. So we talk about mainly the application wallets that are the decentralized exchange wallets, the wallets that you can see on your web browser extension. We are talking about desktop on smartphone wallet, and we are talking also about online wallets. Those are the centralized exchange wallets. That's what you can find in Kraken, Coinbase, or Binance. About the hardware wallet, now I will tell you why I will make a difference between warm wallet, ledger tracer type, and cold wallet Tangem. Why I explain that those ledger on tracer are warm, like less cold than Tangem, is just because on one thing, I ask myself what is a crypto wallet and what it should do, and is a hardware wallet should just keep a private key and a public key, nothing else. And the question is, does the device can be online or not? And if he can be online, that means that he's not totally cold. The thing is that by definition, ledger and tracer can be online. That's all, nothing else. It's not something to show or to explain that there is any, that they are hot wallets. They are not, they are very secure, but still they are not totally cold because they can be online. And the fact is, Tangem Wallet is a real cold wallet because the device is offline. There is no connection. The device remain offline. So here we can start to see the level of threat and or security risk. So we can say that the highest security risk is comes from the hot wallet side, and the lower security risk is like the lowest security risk comes from the cold wallet because they are totally isolated from internet. So now let's talk about the custodial side. So the hardware wallets are custodial, and we have also the application wallet, like the decentralized exchange wallets, that are also self-custodial. That means that you own your private key, and the custodial wallets are the online wallets that are more on centralized exchange wallets. So where are the private keys stored finally? So on the hardware wallet, as I told you, the private key is stored on your device, on the crypto wallet. For the online wallets, they are stored on distant servers, like they are stored inside the centralized exchange, and you don't have access to them because it's a custodial system. And for the decentralized exchange wallets, we are talking about smartphone, like the keys are stored on smartphone and on your computer. So you have still the role to keep those private key and the public key. So now let's talk about the threat. And we will see many kind of threats here, and I will explain them more in detail slowly. So first of all, we can see that the threat level legend shows that in red we have in high risk that it can happen, and low risk for the blue. And you can see that the risks are more red here on hot wallets than in cold wallets. For example, Tangem, that is definitely not vulnerable for certain type of attacks. So for the software wallet, we are mainly talking about keylogger, clipboard hijacking. That means that it's attacks. Well, keylogger, it's an attack where the hacker can read your keyboard. When you type on your keyboard, the hackers can read every single type of what you write, and then can find and can read your private data and password. Clipboard hijacking is the possibility to hack the copy paste system of your computer or your smartphone, and then you copy your public address, and when you paste it, it's finally not your own address, it's someone else's address, because the system was hacked. So this is a clipboard hijacking. Session and cookie hijacking is very sophisticated attack. It's when you authentify yourself on the platform, even if you made double authentication. This attacks steal the file that it's a token. It's an authorization that shows that you did all the authentication, and then you can access the platform. So the hackers they directly steal this file, and they can access while you are on the platform. They access your own access to the platform. It's very sophisticated, and it's quite difficult to manage. So you can also see malware, ransomware, and smart contract confirmation that I talked just before. And I would like just to mention something here. On decentralized exchange, we are talking about decentralized exchange. That means that it's managed by smart contract. And on centralized exchange, it's more on human side. It's a process that are managed by human. That's why on decentralized exchange, we are talking about smart contract confirmation. And on centralized exchange, we are talking about platform corruption and human corruption. But behind this platform, I mean human corruption. And that's why I put the FTX example here. And platform hacks, we are talking about empty Govt. So this is the difference between them. So on hardware wallet, we are talking about physical objects. So they have to be built and to be sent to the client. So we are talking about supply chain attack. That's the process where the hacker steals the device between the construction and the delivery. So during the delivery, they take it, they change it, and then they send it. So they usually do that on device that can be changed. And the fact is, Tangem Wallet is just a card. It's not possible to change anything. You could just destroy the card if you wanted to do something, but there is nothing to change. So that's why I wrote here that cold wallet Tangem is not vulnerable for supply chain attack. We can also talk about firmware injection and Bluetooth, camera, USB confirmation. I will talk about all that in a few seconds. And the only thing that I put here on cold wallet side is the software. So everyone uses software, that's totally normal. So we can still think that the software somehow can be compromised, even if it's very difficult to do it. And yeah, we have also the malware through the PC injection. So that means that if you have your device that can be connected to internet, can be connected to your computer, sorry. If your hardware wallet will need to be connected for update or whatever, and that's usually the case. So if your PC, if your computer is infected, so there is this possibility to infect your hardware wallet with like through the PC. It's like it will be a malware through PC injection. So now let's talk about the components and vulnerabilities of a hardware wallet. So it's very global. I just show all the parts that can be or not inside a hardware wallet. So you have the software side and you have the hardware side. On the hardware side, you have the battery. You have chipsets. That means that you have the little computer size inside that manage different things. So you have the chipset that manage your private key. So we call it the secure element. And we have the chipset that manage the display, what you can see on the screen. And this will be the big discussion here. So when your wallet have a display, he needs this display chipset. And you have also all the entry port, USB, Bluetooth or camera to scan QR codes, and NFC. And about Tangem is a lot more simple. We have just one chipset. There is no batteries because it's working through NFC that works through magnetic field that provides the energy to make it the card accessible. You have one firmware, and the software side is on your smartphone. So finally, the Tangem card is just one chipset, one NFC interface, and one firmware. And we will see in detail more about all that. So let's talk about the battery. The battery is one of the main source of infection because what I could see on the attacks on device, on hardware wallet that has battery, it's that we can change the power. We can create like we call a fault injection via voltage manipulation. That means that you will manipulate the voltage of your hardware wallet, and it will be a weakness and a possibility to show, like to leak private keys and to an entry point to hack the wallet. So on Tangem side, you don't have battery, so there is no fault injection, no firmware injection, and actually yes, a battery have a life, have an end of life. But on Tangem side, I also see that it's potentially, the life estimation is potentially unlimited. For the display is here one of the biggest subject. We are talking about trusted display. People talk about that by the idea that if the display is on the device, so we can say that it's a trusted display. So first of all, we can say that is definitely not the case. Because the problem, first of all, because the hacks that happened just a few days ago is also a proof of it. But it's also, the question is more how the display is connected to the hardware wallet instead of if the display is on it or not. The question is how the connection is between them. If it's just by a chipset or if there is a real security cryptography behind. So let me explain you that. So those display needs a chipset, and this is also a source of vulnerabilities because the principle is very simple. You as less device, as less components you have on your wallet, as more securities, nothing else. You know, cybersecurity use very simple facts. So to allow a display, another chipset on your wallet will allow to create also another firmware injection, not from the secure element, but from the display element. And that's the main problem. So many hacks happen in very famous wallet that started from the display. and that's a problem. So I definitely think that it's the display on the wallet is not necessarily a trusted display. The question is more how the display is connected to the wallet. And on Tangem side, it's a cryptographic process that connects the card to the display on your phone. That means that what you see on your screen will be trusted by the fact that if you want to validate a transaction, the connection between the card and the display will be connected by a cryptographic authorization. And the problem is also that the display on the software will not allow to read everything correctly. So you will you will be able to, there will be a risk of user error, like not to be able to read everything on the screen, and that's mainly the first problem of all those wallets that have a little screen where you can't see everything very correctly, and that's exactly what happened a few days ago. It was just a blind signing because they signed something that they couldn't even see on their wallet. So this is a problem. And also what I saw is that you can't make any miniaturization of the wallet because you are forced to keep a certain size for the display. That is anyway doesn't showing the information very correctly. Instead, the Tangem Wallet uses your smartphone, and on your smartphone, all the information is totally clear, and you can see all the smart contracts. You can see the information with very high detail. So again, no display means no display firmware injection, and the display is fully detailed on your smartphone. So the secure element, I started to talk about that. Here we are talking about how secure it is. How secure is the chipset? So since now I mentioned some example of chipsets that have been used in very famous hardware wallets and have been critically compromised. When I say critically, that means that either we could steal the private keys, that is a critical hacks, or you could make transaction without the authorization of the owner. That is also a critically hacks situation. So that's what happened with those two chipsets. On the other side, Tangem Wallet use a chipset that is certified by as a EAL6 plus certification, and that's a grant level. That level is it comes from the cybersecurity side to allow those certain chips to be used on certain level or on cyber defense area. So I am talking here about army and things like that. So so what I could see is that this Tangem Wallet Tangem Wallet chipset was used and certified by ANSSI, the French cybersecurity agency. That means that this chipset was used into armament, into army in France for different things. So about the input-output, so as I told you, as much entry point you allow, more vulnerable it is. So those entry points, those input-output communication ports, USB mainly, they are here for those wallets who needs to be updated. And that's also another subject. To be able to update a wallet is just the possibility to let it, to make it vulnerable. Because what happens is that when you connect your wallet, you connect your wallet to your PC, you are already you put him in risk because your PC can be infected. And this is one of the main also vector of attack, because one of the things that has been made to hack hardware wallets that are updatable was to falsifiate, to create a malicious update firmware that has been injected through USB port and through various also difficult, like from your battery. It comes from the battery and it comes from the display chipset. So anyway, they were first of all a hardware level to get inside, and then they introduce the malicious firmware to update the wallet. So just to have a wallet that you can update, that you must update, is already a vulnerability. So here on the other side, the Tangem card is just not updatable. You have it, it has been created, and you can't update it. So there is no access. The only communication port that you have on Tangem is the NFC. This NFC is used just on read mode on when you use it. And there is just one step when the NFC is on writable mode, is just when you create the card. When you create your three card, the process to copy your private key to other card, it's processing through the NFC write mode, and then the write is closed, and just the NFC reading part is remain. So there is no USB, no Bluetooth, no camera, and all those ports are just weakness to introduce somehow vulnerabilities. So supply chain, like I told you, when you have a hardware wallet, you have to create, you have to send it to the client, and this is a way to steal. The supply chain attack is very famous, like it's very popular attack, where you steal the wallet, you change it, that can be just to initialize it, the hacker can initialize it and to make something to make it totally hidden from the final users, and the final users will receive the wallet and will not see that it has been initialized by someone else, and he will steal the private key. So it can happen during manufacturing, during transportation, mainly during transportation. So here, the Tangem card, again, cannot be changed because it's just a card, and if this card is initiated by someone else, it will be identified to a smartphone, and when you will try to do it by yourself, or when you will receive it, the card will just told you that it's already initialized, and that's why it's not possible to do anything with it. So the only attempt that a hacker would want to do something through supply chain attack would be to try to manipulate the card, but any attempt to alter it will just destroy the card, because it's just a card. Nothing here is more accessible than that. Okay, so now let's talk about the software side. On the software, we are talking about like firmware, again, that is mainly supposed to be on the chipset of the secure element. So here, if you I already explained it a little before. The entry point will be to make a malicious firmware, like update malicious firmware, and then to inject it into your hardware wallet through the port that I exposed just before. So what happened is that the hacker falsified the signature of the firmware, because usually when you update a device, you update it through to the main official website of the firmware of the hardware, and there is a certificate that authenticates the wallet, the update. So they just falsified the firmware update, they modify it, and they injected it through the USB port, and then the hacker can just read the memory of the hardware wallet, and they can sometimes steal directly. They can steal the private key, or either create or make a transaction without any authorization. So no need to explain the step 4, but your money will just disappear. So on Tangem side, the firmware is not changeable. There is no update possible, and there is no entry point, no USB, no exploitable port. Exploitable port to manage those hacks that you can find, that you can easily do, like easily. Many famous hardware wallets has been hacked through this way. And again, this secure element was that is on the Tangem wallet is used on very high level, very high security, very high secured process in France, actually on cyber defense. So that's why I, on my side, think that this secure element that is used for Tangem is very highly secured. By the way, I just find it in a total other way, and I will show you how in a few seconds. So the application, again, every wallet needs an application. So let's say that the application side is of course one of the famous entry points that you can have. Now, how can you introduce the software? So through fake wallet apps. So if you install or you try to recover your password through an application that will ask you to recover your password. So it's mainly fake apps that will connect you to, that will be the entry point to application side code injection. So like I said before, the vulnerabilities that come from malware or clipboard hijacking. What I told before, the possibility to read the what you type on your keyboard and to record the private key, or maybe like even more to record the PIN code or any password that you could write on your keyboard. On Tangem side, there is, like I told you, this cryptographic authenticity check between the card and the application on your smartphone. So if either the card or either the application will not be authenticated, so this cryptographic authentication will just not work. I mean, either the app will not recognize the card, either the card will not recognize the app. So this is also very strong because the cryptography is the base of the blockchain. So, and that's why we are here talking about that, and that's why I think it's very secure. Also, the fact that the application is open source and you can check, people can check every little detail, every little line of this software. So now this is how I finally found that on the beginning of my investigation on Tangem, I just saw on my side that the chipset was on document in France on ANSSI side because it's there is a certificate on from the French government that directly explain that the Tangem Samsung, like not Tangem, but the chipset Samsung S3D232A is certified by French government. And it's also mentioned here that we can see that it's EL6 augmented plus means that we can reach a high level of security to use them in French industry, cybersecurity industry. And I won't explain which kind of industry, but globally, for example, I put this, that this is a kind of chipset that we are using for passport. So it's really, really highly secured. And the connection between between themselves, like to be able to connect your card to your smartphone is just by distance of 4 centimeters. Now, let me explain you the risk that we can see between the risk assessment that you have when you sign a transaction. So first of all, you connect to your wallet, then you authentify to your wallets. So we are talking about someone that wants to make a transaction, to sign a transaction. So he connects to the device, he connects to internet, he connects to the exchange, and then he signs the transaction. So how do you read it? So you authenticate to your wallet by 2FA. That is a very low risk. Then you want to connect to internet through your smartphone, through your computer. And this is how the risk started to come. So through your computer, you have, first of all, the vulnerability of the computer. That is a high risk. Then you have to connect to internet. From internet, you have to connect to your home box, either from Ethernet or from your Wi-Fi. So there is a dedicated risk to them because cable is more secure than private Wi-Fi. And from your smartphone, you can either connect by Wi-Fi or you can connect by your just normal 4G, 5G connection, or you can connect through public Wi-Fi. That is extremely not recommended. I recommend you never to connect to public Wi-Fi, or either use a VPN if you want to encrypt your data through the public Wi-Fi. But just in the last chance, that is in the last option that you don't have, you could do that with a VPN. So then you connect to the exchange, and this exchange, this risk come from the exchange side. It's not totally on your side, but as I explained you before, those exchanges can be hacked, And then when the transaction is made, the risk is a lot more like less dangerous, because the signature itself is offline, and then the risk comes from the blockchain. That is one of the the lower risk. So this is what happened. Now on Tangem, you can just connect to your, you authentify through your smartphone, and you can just connect to any exchange through your smartphone. So that means that you can already remove all the risks from your computer and remain just the Wi-Fi, the 4G, 5G, or the public Wi-Fi that I said never do it. I suggest you never to do it. And then we arrive to the same level, so to the same steps. So just to say that we have decreased the use case, the number of use cases that can create risk into your transaction when you use Tangem card. Now let's talk about the classification of attacks by type, by different channel of attacks, by different vector. So through communication, through wallet, through PC, smartphone, or exchange or network. Let's try to explain it very fast, but not to be too much difficult on this. Phishing is one of the most attacks that that you could hear from now. Just a way to is a way to like it's a communication attack that allows someone to connect to let you redirect yourself to another to a false website through a bad link of an email, of a picture, of a video, or SMS. And so this is a phishing. So they redirect you to a false website and ask you to authenticate and steal your authentication data. Brute force attack is the way to attack to make several type of hacks to make several authentication tries on your wallet. It's quite difficult. It's more on different type of exchange, more on exchange side. But I mean here that this attack allows someone to, the hacker here, just try several times, several PIN codes until he reach to the correct one. So of course it's very long, very difficult, and he must have either your wallet, or it could be online through an exchange, or through an exchange mainly. So SIM swapping, this is very interesting because many double authentication is done through your SIM card. So the SIM swapping here is when a hacker make a request to your provider of SIM card and appear to be talks to your provider as it's yourself that ask a new card, and when they do it, they just say that they need a new card because you lose your card, because your card doesn't work anymore. So the provider send you a new card, and he just here at the correct moment to steal the letter where you have the SIM card, and then he steal your card and he authenticate himself in his smartphone, but on your with your identity. So the double authentication through a SIM card will be on his hand. So this is the danger of this SIM swapping. Clipboard hijacking. So it touch anytime that you need to connect to something with your computer. So wallet, PC, smartphone, exchange. So like I said, the clipboard hijacking is the hack of it's the possibility to hack the copy paste function, and the keylogging is the capacity to record every strike that you put on your keyboard. So this is the two main attacks that appear here very frequently, and that impact your computer device where you connect your hardware wallet. Malicious firmware that is mainly on hardware wallets that can be updatable, like I said before. Supply chain attack that can happen on wallet and on PC, smartphone, of course. So obviously, a supply chain attack on PC and smartphone is much more delicate, much more high level to do it, but it occurs very often on hardware wallet. DDoS attack, it's more difficult, like more high level attacks, but it's mainly it's mainly about exchange, and its ability to overflow, to overwhelming the traffic of the exchange until you make it crash, and then you can attack it more deeply. Session cookies attack, when I told you before, is a capacity to be able to steal your ID connection when you connect, even after your double authentication. It's the ability to steal this authentication file that you have created just for the session, just when you are connected. So someone, as a hacker, will steal this file and will authenticate on his side on your exchange. And on the network, you have the man-in-the-middle attack and the DNS spoofing that are very specified, also very high-level attacks. But man-in-the-middle is just something very simple. That is just that the hacker is between you and the exchange, or you and the device. Mainly you and exchange, I mean in the network. He can read the data on the network, and the first way, and there is a polynetwork and concheck that happens with the man-in-the-middle attack. DNS spoofing, just to tell you, it's something that occurs on public Wi-Fi. It can happen very frequently. It's the capacity to steal login and password, and it happens very frequently on public Wi-Fi hacks. So now let's talk about how to protect yourself against those attacks. And here we will have several things to see, but it will be mainly the same all the time. You will have to enable double authentication and to use a password manager. So those are the main advice that I will provide you, is to be able to activate the double authentication whenever it's possible, to use a password manager. So what is a password manager? It's a program that will keep all your passwords. So you will tell me, okay, so you just have to have the password manager and it's finished. Actually, yes, but this password manager is managed by a very strong password, a long password, and it's also protected by double authentication. And this double authentication is one of the security layers that can make you feel safe about the incapacity to hack your password manager. So that's why the strongest security that we provide is to use a double authentication and password manager. So yes, so of course, don't click on suspicious link, neither on, and always verify website URL on Google before to go on them. Brute force attack, enable logging attempt limitation. If you are able to enable the number of attempts, for example, your smartphone, you can't put several. When you put several times a false password, it's just blocked, and for 1 minute, and then for 5 minutes, and for 10 minutes. So it's not possible to do it. SIM swapping, you just have to be careful on it. Mainly, if you can use to activate an additional protection with your carrier, like a kind of confidential keywords that you have with your provider to avoid to let someone ask another SIM card. Some provider does it, some not. So just be careful. If you start to see that you don't have any connection with your phone, you don't have, you can't, like your SIM card is not working anymore, you should directly think that it can be a SIM swapping attack. So you should contact your provider very fast to tell them that maybe to check if someone asked a new card because it wasn't you. Clipboard attack, always check every character of the address when you copy paste a public address before signing the transaction. That means that when you make a transaction, you copy paste your public key, and when you paste it, you just have to check not just the 4-1 and the 4 last. You should check every part of it. Globally, I won't enter all that too much in detail. Supply chain attack is also something very important. So mainly, you should always acquire your hardware wallet from the official manufacturer, and do not trust the seal, do not trust the plastic that is on your wallet. Just when you receive it, just make always a reset of it. Just make a factory reset and then initialize your wallet. Keylogging. So there is a possibility to avoid it, is to use a virtual cable. That was all the bank account does. Actually, in France, they does it. And also you can install and update antivirus and anti-malware very frequently. That is also the best way to avoid those problems. Session cookies, this is very high level, but the most thing that you should do is to regularly clear your cookies on your web browser, and to be sure that can allow you to be sure that at least the new cookies that will appear will be totally fresh and not infected. DDoS attack, just check the audit of the exchange. I don't have anything else to tell you because it's on exchange side. It's an attack that regards is when the exchange is involved. So just what I can tell you, if you want to use regularly an exchange, you should check if there is some audit that has been done, made on them, and to check if the audit went well, to be more safe to use this exchange. And attack on the network. If you are using a public Wi-Fi, just use a VPN. That's the only way to secure at least the network layer of the communication. Because with a VPN, the network layer will be encrypted. And then even if there is someone in the middle, even if there is someone that listens to the network between you and the exchange, at least all what he will have is encrypted data, and he won't be able to do anything with it. This is all. DNS spoofing, always verify the complete URL. Like, always check that when you are redirected to a wallet, to be sure that, redirected to an address, to an URL, be sure that the URL is correct, because sometimes they can change just one letter on something it could be very malicious like that. So copy paste the address, copy paste it on Google, and check if there is any scam that raised from this address. That's all. Now, let's come back a little feedback on the good practices. Authentication on your wallet. Always activate the double authentication when it's possible on your wallet, on your exchange, email account, communication, application. About your password, create a strong password. That's very important, to create a very long password and to use a password manager. That's a very secure way to do it. That's the main way to increase the security of your digital life. About your PC, smartphone, always update them. Use anti-malware also on your smartphone. Use antivirus. So mainly antivirus on your smaRtphone and anti-malware on your PC. Internet connection, never use a public Wi-Fi. That's the main advice I could tell you. And you should change your password on your Wi-Fi to have a stronger one for your home Wi-Fi password. About your exchange, again, double authentication. And if I can tell you something, is you should check if there is found insurance policy on your exchange, because finally, all what you want to know is if you will be refunded if there is any problem. So platforms are hacked, that's a fact, and there is always the possibility that the platform will be hacked. And Bybit recovered everything after 12 hours, but not anyone can do that. So all that you want to know is to be sure that if there is any problem, the amount of the money you have put on this exchange is covered by their insurance policy. So that's the best advice I could give you. Smart contract, do not sign smart contracts that you can read entirely. So even if you are using a device with a small screen, just be sure that you have read everything, and be sure that you can read all the information of the smart contract before signing it. About your wallet, So yeah, I can tell you that I suggest you to have a Tangem wallet because for the moment it's one of the strongest security wallets that I could see. And be careful about all those smart contracts that you can't read, and use it in your wallet in a secure environment only. Means with just not to be seen by other people. When you do something, just don't let anyone see that you have crypto, because that's what I say. My best advice online, just stay anonymous. Don't tell anyone that you have crypto, that you are involved into those things, because if a hacker decides to hack you, he will finally somehow be able to do it. So just remain anonymous, and I suggest you to do all those advice, and you should, and normally it should be fine. Yes, your seed phrase, just less secret to hold means less problem to solve. So that's one of my last advice. Tangem Wallet recommend not to use seed phrase, and I totally agree, because when you have a seed phrase, it's just another secret that you have to hold by yourself, and it's another possibility to insert weakness. And that's one I can tell you, in that in the cybersecurity world, the most problems, the most higher statistically problems that we can see comes from human. So just let your crypto wallet take this for you, and that's all. That's all what I can do for the moment, and I will let you ask any question. Thank you very much.
All right.
Anna, I will let you.
It kind of looks like I have to jump in here and have to follow all of this. I've just been listening along and answering some of your comments in YouTube. It is fascinating. I mean, I know that we created all of this, like, no, we didn't create them, the slides. We're not going to take any credit, but we kind of looked over them, right? But each iteration just gets better and better and better. This was beautiful to watch, and I can see by the comments that you guys all enjoyed it as well. Jacky, how about we jump into some of the community questions? Are we ready to go?
Great. Yes, cool. Of course. Thank you all.
All right, let's do a 6-second B-roll, and then I'll pull up some questions. All right, some questions. All of these you have actually answered. Let's just touch some of these. Maybe this one just for the moment. So this is a question by Marie. Marie has been very active in the comments so far, so thank you. Do you have any recommendations for safety practices for interacting with DeFi smart contracts?
Recommendation safety practices for interacting with DeFi smart contracts. So yes, my recommendation with smart contract is mainly to use the most audited smart contract, and the smart contracts that are the most simple. Because what is a smart contract finally? A smart contract is a program, and a program that allow a transaction if several like a multi-sig, but a smart contract allow a transaction if several things are validated. Means that if the program is, as much as the program is simple, the smart contract is strong. It's the same principle. So my recommendation is check the audit on the smart contract, check also the how old is the smart contract, because how old he is proves that he's more secure. And be careful about the new smart contract. Yeah, that's all.
I've got a follow-up question for you, actually. I'm going to mute you for a second. I've got a follow-up question from that while I have you muted, just otherwise there's an echo. You say check where to see the smart contract when they were created and so on. Maybe you can point us to a resource. Maybe you can share it with me like somewhere, and then I can drop it into the comments or leave it in the YouTube section for afterwards, just so people know where kind of to look for that information. Would that be okay?
Yes, of course. I will let you some links about that. Yes, there is an online platform for that. Yes, sure. Great.
Cool. Looks like we have homework, guys. So let's jump into the next question.
Yeah.
Let's do this one. This is a really fun one. I'm not sure whether you are able to answer this in an ad hoc way. Yeah. All right. So would governments have the technical means to crack an EAL6 standard?
Alors, okay. No, I would say no. First of all, I don't have the answer of those the direct answers of this. If I would have the answer, I wouldn't say it. Of course, we are talking about something like that are on government side. Government side level of secret is called high secret. Like it's something that usually even people that work on it doesn't have access to it. So I think no, because there is those certification. The certification are here to actually let defense industry, army industry, to use those chipsets. So when we reach EAL6, and there is also EAL7, 8, or 9 that are for different subjects. But when we reach those level, so that means that for defense industry, we can use it. And that's how I found it on my site, because it just appeared on my work. That's all. So
gotcha.
my answer.
It looks like we're safe from any vulnerabilities from that side. Let's jump into another one. I know that we're running a little bit low on time, guys, and everybody's going to get slightly tired. It's a lot of information all in one go. Let's jump into a quick one. So what's the biggest cybersecurity mistake that people make without realizing it? Maybe just some quick info.
Interesting question. Biggest cybersecurity mistake people can make without realizing it is exactly what happened just a few days ago. We are talking about $1.5 billion. Do you imagine that? It's a real case to answer your question. So the biggest mistake is just blind signing, is to sign a transaction without even being aware of what happened, because you read something on your wallet and you are sure that you signed it correctly. But the wallet was compromised, the smart contract was compromised, and the last line was hidden, and you couldn't even see it. So the biggest mistake is, I would say, would come from a smart contract confirmation. Yeah, there is also a lot of other mistakes that human can do, but I would put it on top.
Gotcha. All right. I'm going to mute you again. Sorry, guys. We couldn't figure out, we met a little bit earlier, but we couldn't figure out how to get rid of the echo. So this is a way to go about it. Let's jump into this one. This we see quite often in the community. There's a couple of rules when it comes to crypto, which is whenever interacting with anybody online, do not trust anybody that messages you first, right? But let's jump into some of your perspectives, perhaps. So can you tell us a little bit about some social engineering tactics that might make us vulnerable to lose our crypto? Unmute.
Yeah. Sure. Like I showed you, it comes from the AI side, because the AI, the social engineering hacks comes from the fact that you really think that you are talking to someone that from your bank, from your exchange, from someone that you know. So AI had a strong impact on it. So this is the first vector of attack coming from engineering, social engineering attack. So if I answered your question very well, can you tell us a bit? Yeah. So this is, AI would be the biggest way to that has increased those attacks. And what can I say more? You should just be careful about who you are talking about, who contact you, even if you think that you know him. You should change. The way is just you change the channel. You change if he contacted you by phone, you just stop the phone and you call him by yourself in the other way, to be sure that you have that you talk to the correct person. The same online. If someone contacted you online and asked you to go on this website or whatever, you copy paste the address, you copy paste the link to Google simply, and you just check if there is any raise of any hacks that happens. For example, also Block Explorer can also raise and show those hacks events coming from a link or from any bad blockchain or whatever. So I will show some example of platforms that will allow you to check if something bad happened on a link.
Okay, great. homework, something to research afterwards. We love this. We've got another 3 questions. 2 of them are Tangem specific. I think I'm going to leave them. Actually, let's do them right now, and then we'll finish on a nice, good note. You have touched upon this, but it's still great to revise. Let's just touch on this quickly. So what happens if the phone that I activate my Tangem wallet on was activated or lost or stolen? What are some steps I need to take to pair it with a new phone? Jacky, you know how Tangem works, but I can also cover this. Up to you. Feel free to answer this question.
You know what? Maybe you will have more dedicated. I can answer, but if you want, you can. Let me just say that. First of all, if something happened to the phone, it's until he doesn't have three of your cards, there is no possibility to do anything with it, because you can anyway continue to identify yourself on a new smartphone, and there will be no possibility to make any transaction, because to make a transaction you need to have the smartphone and the card, and to be authenticated on your smartphone. So there is several layers of security that avoid someone, either if he has one of your card, either if he has your smartphone, he must be authenticated on your smartphone, and that's through Face ID and through authentication layers that are very strongly reinforced, so thanks to Apple and Samsung, so through those smartphone R&D research and development side. So that's my answer. If you want to add something.
I'll touch on this quickly, or maybe, sorry. There's also, so we did mention that you need to have at least one of the devices. So I'm just using the Tangem Ring as my everyday carry. You need to have access to this device, and you also need to be having the access code that is going to be on you. This can be anywhere from, I think, 4 characters, like 4 numbers, or it can be 20, 40 different characters, numbers, anything that you want in there. The access code is the layer that is protecting, even if you have physical access to my ring, for example, you can't do anything with it because you need this access code. The process of changing to a different device, so say I wanted to go to a different device, I no longer like my iPhone, I would then have the ring off my finger, I would tap to the device, and then enter my access code, because the biometrics are stored locally on that one device and not on the card. So even if you lose your phone, you would still have your cards or your ring available, and then you would enter that access code. And then optional, you can add a biometric access for ease of use onto that one device. So nothing will happen if something is lost or stolen, provided that you keep all of your 3 cards or your items in safe, secure, and separate locations, which is also a follow-up, which is, if you don't remember your access code, you can reset it potentially. But look, this is beyond the scope of today. We can dive into this in Discord, Telegram, Reddit, name your platform. We will cover it there. But I think that's kind of it for now. All right. Jacky, this too might be a quick one for you. This is a Tangem one specific. Tangem, one question. Having the ability to have multiple receiving addresses is on the near horizon. It's in the works. Will it be soon? I am going to unmute you, but I think I'll just cover this one quickly as well. All right. In which case, let me point you to, we have this wonderful feature called Roadmap with upcoming features at community.tangem.com/roadmap, where you can have a look at all of the other information that is in the works right now. We definitely do have multiple addresses coming. This is a feature that's very feature heavy, so it's taking a little bit of time to develop in this moment. We did have a question at some point. Well, it's more like a commentary. Somebody said, is it a security vulnerability if you don't have this? My answer was no, it is not. But maybe Jacky, you have another approach to it. Is multi-addresses going to be a major improvement to Tangem?
Yeah, so you asked me about multi-address. Anna, tell me more in detail. What is the point here?
So multi-addresses at the moment we have. One static address per token. So for example, if you add Bitcoin, you only have the one Bitcoin address. If you have ETH, then you have the one ETH address, and so on and so forth. This feature is coming. This is just the roadmap, which is where we share everything week by week. We updated it yesterday with all the recent information. Multi-addresses is just something that's coming very, very soon. But if you say that it's safe to continue on without, then I think it is. That's the approach that we had, and we've sold over, I think we're nearing 3 million different units sold at this point, and we haven't had any questions about it so far. All right, Jacky, let's switch off the comments with this. I think we're going to finish up on a nice, simple question. This is from one of our community members. I don't know if this question fits here, but what would be a good thing to routinely do to keep a good internet hygiene for normal people that are not cybersecurity experts? Maybe you can give us this final bit of illumination, and then we'll head off for the day.
Yeah. The main things to do in day-to-day life to keep you safe is to, first of all, very simple things: to update your computer, to update your device, and to also to empty your cookies of your web browser. This is the main thing that you can do in day-to-day life. I can also tell you to be careful about your extension, your web browser extensions that are the main entry point for many malwares and hacks on, for example, decentralized exchange like MetaMask. Many people have been stolen their MetaMask just because they installed MetaMask a web extension on a web browser that was not safe. So first of all, let me tell you, so the web browser that I recommend is Mozilla Firefox. That is very strong, and that was we use also in development everywhere in a strong entities, also in defense. Anyway, where I am working, we use it. And to be careful not to install any other, not to install many web extension. Actually, if I would tell you that if you want to use your web extension like MetaMask on other web browser, like a decentralized exchange extension, you should just use them and not install anything else on your web browser. So be careful of that. Empty your cookies, update it, and install a very strong antivirus. Yes.
Okay, then we covered a lot of the other questions, which we did have prepared as well, which is the password manager, how to use VPNs you also covered. So I think we've run through all of the potential questions that we could have really asked at this point. You have done your preparation and your work way too good, anticipated all of our questions in advance. So ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be wrapping up for now. Jacky, how are you doing? Do we have any final words of wisdom, advice, any critiques of how people are using their digital platforms? How do people protect themselves? Hit us with one last piece of wisdom.
Yeah, one last thing is just what I say in the end. Just stay anonymous. Don't reveal that you have crypto. Don't share your data so easily. Just take time to, for example, if you are on a website and they ask you to accept anything, any cookies, just take the time to say, no, I don't accept. Don't share your email. Don't share your data so easily online, and stay anonymous. Because if someone will want to hack you, like from a big group, I'm saying, he will take the time to hack you. So you will be the last person, the last entity that will protect yourself. I just want to say that you can protect yourself with very simple things like I told you now, and to be to have an anonymous life online, and to talk just to the trusted people, and that will be fine.
Brilliant. I think that is an amazing way to wrap up for the end of the evening. I think we thoroughly enjoyed it. I can speak for myself. I was looking at the diagrams, having a nice little chat with people. It's great to have such a wonderful and vibrant community. If you are watching us for the first time ever, we welcome you to the Tangem community. I was saying in the comments that we have an active and vibrant community and Discord and Telegram. A lot of our people have either joined the team or become close members of the Tangem family, so to speak. We have very many different resources available to you. And of course, Jacky is going to leave us with some homework in terms of what we can do to better protect ourselves just beyond this 1.5 hour session. So ladies and gentlemen, it has been wonderful. Jacky, thank you for being with us. I leave you all with this wonderful little stress testing showcasing just how robust the Tangem card and the Tangem wallet is. It's a nice little video. Enjoy and have a wonderful rest of your day or night. All right, Jacky, bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Neil Maloney. I'm a lab technologist here at ESL Technology, where we do environmental simulation testing, and we're located in Nova Scotia, Canada. If you want a complete overview of our testing capabilities, you can visit our website, esl-labs.com. Today I'm doing a pressure test on 12 Tangem crypto wallets. The purpose of the test is to demonstrate that the wallet still functions after it's subjected to 38 megapascals, which is equivalent to the pressure you would experience at a depth of 3,800 meters. If all goes as expected, I will then repeat the test for 60 megapascals, which is equivalent to a depth of 6 kilometers. So I'm going to start by getting 12 cards into the tank, and then you'll see me putting the lid on the tank, and I'll show the pressurization portion and show the graph on the screen, because otherwise there's really nothing to see, just the text. Here I've got the pressure displayed. Okay, we're about at the end of our hour-long hold. In less than a minute, it's going to start to depressurize. So you get to watch that. And then I'll show taking the items out of the tank and the functional test on the phone. Go. One at a time. There we go. 2, 3. 4. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All work immediately after 60.3 megapascals, depth of 6 kilometers. That's deep. There you go. Thanks very much.